Well, good afternoon. What does one do on a wet Friday afternoon when every time you go out and come back in you walk mud in? Well, one of the things that I've done this afternoon is I received a visitor. And I don't mean this small person here, I mean the lady that lives in the house there. She spoke to me this morning and said, she described a book and said, would I like it, because otherwise it's going to be thrown away. And she thought that was terrible, but none of her family want it. And she described it to me and I said, well, yes, I would love it. So we're going to have a very brief book review on a wet Friday afternoon. In the background you can hear the kettle just about finishing boiling, so I'm going to turn you off while I pour hot water on a tea bag. Well, I'll put the tea bag in a mug before I pour the hot water on it. You know, it works better that way, I find. Now, the story behind this little book, and I'll offer it to the light so some of you will recognise the symbolism on the front of it. Now, it's an I, an H and an S, which is the abbreviation of the Latin word for Jesus. And this book is I can't quite read that. It's a prayer book, and the lady that gave it to me tells me that her mother gave it to her, but it is supposed to be the prayer book of her grandmother. But she's a little bit confused about why her grandmother had this book, because her grandmother was, and she said this sort of quietly as if I'd be shocked and offended by it, which I wasn't, but you know, some people might be. Her grandmother was a Protestant. So why her grandmother had a very Catholic prayer book, well, that's one of those mysteries we can't go back in time and ask. But it's a book of the prayers for all of, pour tous les besoins de la vie, for all of your needs in life, with practical instructions for all les fêtes de l'année. That's, in effect, it's all the saints' days of the year, all of the church celebrations. And, well, we're told that this is the nouvelle édition, the new one, printed in Limoges, which is just down the road from here. I say just down the road, it's quite a long way. And we looked through it and there's no date, but we can probably do some research later and find out when Bernard was the Bishop of Limoges. There is a little piece of paper in here that is dated April 1901. But yeah, all of the prayers, les prières du soir, that's the evening prayers. Mon saint patron, obtenez-moi de Dieu la grâce de ne point l'offenser et de vous imiter. Et vous dans le nom mais si doux, chef béni de la sainte famille au Saint Joseph, priez Jésus qu'il daigne me bénir. Et assistez-moi à l'heure de la mort. That's cheerful, isn't it? Help me at the hour of death. Prayers for the living and for the dead. Now I'm going to have a fair amount of fun with this book, because this is the sort of thing that many of my friends will enjoy to look at. Compli du dimanche. Dimanche is Sunday. Now, as with many Catholic prayer books of the time, you can see on the left it's in Latin, and on the right it's in French. And you can see that this is a page that has been well and truly thumbed. Asking for the Lord to bless us and give us a tranquil night. Yes, that's always good to pray for, isn't it? A blessing and a tranquil night. But there we are. That's a little book given to me today that we will spend a certain amount of time reading.